Um, all right. Well, happy Wednesday, everyone. Hope everyone had a good 4th of July. Um, we have a good call tonight because we have a couple people that are going to talk to us. We have a couple big announcements. Yeah, already seen one. I'll let Megan make the other one. Is she coming back? I don't know where she went.
Yeah, she went to
Okay. Well, Leslie went diamond today. Yay! Usually you see rank advancements on Thursdays, but she was supposed to go diamond last Thursday, and we've just been waiting for it to be fixed. So they did it early. So it was very exciting to see early in our back office, Leslie. So I'm super proud of super excited. Can't wait to celebrate in Nashville very soon. And she's going to say a few words to us in a little bit. And then I'm going to let Megan make our other big announcement early.
So this one is just a few hours early, but Brenda is going to be a diamond tomorrow morning. I'm so excited for you, girl. You seriously have worked so hard, and it's here, lady.
I know, it's super exciting. I'm excited, honestly, for you guys to have it happen at the same time, because not only that, like, I feel a lot more coming. I know a lot of people that are close. I know a lot of people that are working really hard for it, and I know that your team seeing you is going to motivate them as well, people underneath you. So this is what I keep telling Leslie, because she kind of went through this like whirlwind of signing up coaches the last couple weeks. I'm like, this is called momentum, and you need to ride it as long as you can, because it unfortunately does not last forever. So when you hit momentum, whether it's with Success Club, bringing on new challengers or signing up new coaches, or you feel like you're really getting a response on, social media or whatever it is, like, you have to ride that momentum wave as much as you possibly can by feeding it, like by, paddling and trying to keep it going. So I think that's a great timing for you guys, you too as well, Brenda, like adding in new coaches. Like, I heard someone say the other day that as a coach, they try to get their coaches to go Emerald within the first 30 days. And so, we're having like a big push to Emerald in July. And if you don't do it in 30 days, that's fine. Like, Summer Tucker is a perfect example of someone who didn't work her business for a full year. And, that came up a lot in the group today, talking to a few coaches. Like, it's okay. It doesn't matter what you've done in the past, because you're not going there. Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday, because I'm not going there tomorrow. Okay. So just focus on the future wherever you are now. But can you go Emerald in 30 days? Absolutely. And as a coach, I would say try to repeat that every single month. So you're trying to go Emerald every single month, and all of a sudden you will have 4 coaches on each side, and you will be diamond. And then if you're teaching your coaches the same thing underneath you, the system just gets so much easier to duplicate. Like, if anything, people just overcomplicate this business. And that's why you see us week after week, month after month, year after year, talk about the vital behaviors on our calls, because that's all this business is the vital behaviors, especially before you hit diamond. After you hit diamond, you have more of a team, but it's then just about teaching them the vital behaviors and then perfecting your leadership skills. Like, it's all skills. So I'm gonna let the girls talk first. I asked Leslie and Brenda earlier if they would just say a few things, just kind of they can tell you a little more about their story, like when they started. And not everyone knows everyone. And I was thinking about that today, and I meant to start off saying, like, I don't know all of you guys. The more we grow and the more people are watching recordings, like, I don't know everyone. So I will get better about kind of sharing how I started and all that stuff, but I don't want to take away time necessarily tonight. But so I'm going to let Leslie talk and just share a little bit about how she started, why she started, why, how, any tips she wants to offer. And there you go, girl. Take it away.
Does this count as my recording that I owe you?
No, unless you could crop it on YouTube for me now.
I owe Kimberly a recording or a video to share in the next sneak peek, and I have not done it. So that's definitely one of the things I need to work on still is videos. So a little bit about me. I became a coach in December. My main reason was just I had a lot I wanted to work on myself. I was a runner. I rode my bike a lot, but I could not lose the weight I wanted to lose. I knew some of my lifestyle at home as far as eating wasn't the healthiest. My big glasses of wine, Blaine, my Texas glasses of wine, those were my jam. And so those were things I knew I had to work on. And so I became a coach because I talked to Kimberly. I also was not happy in my job. And so I said, it's kind of one of the things I want to do is I'd like to learn if I can really build a business. One of the things y'all will probably learn about me over time is I am probably one of the least confident people you'll ever meet, which people don't always see that side of me because I try to hide it, but I'm not confident at all. And so I'm very afraid of success and kind of living my dreams. And so Kimberly was like, yeah, you could totally be a coach. Just you already share your journey. You run, do all this, just share. And so I was like, you're crazy, but okay. So that's kind of what I did. And that would be really after to talk about what we felt and how we kind of got here, and some tips. And the biggest things I would say, I don't know what Blaine's doing over there, but for me has been consistency, is just really following the vitals. And I was told that up front. And I remember thinking, okay, maybe I can skip PD one day, or I can, skip recognition one day or whatever. But I really found for me that's kind of what keeps me going. And even if the personal development doesn't seem to relate to Beachbody, like right now, I'm reading a lot of parenting books just because my daughter is very spirited. My husband just walked in the room and gave me a dirty look because she doesn't want to take a bath tonight. But I have a very spirited little 5-year-old that some of you know, and I've tried to take that parenting book and then develop that into how can I use that even to talk to my coaches or my challengers, and just kind of learning to relate differently. So still turning that into personal development. So the two things I highly recommend, kind of from what I've learned so far, and I'm still learning a lot, is follow the vitals and treat it like a business. Treat it like a business is something else that I was told several times. And I kept thinking, oh yeah, I'm at my full-time job. I'll just check Facebook real quick. And I'm not good at shutting that off. But what I have found is that if I really try hard to treat it like a business, I've been able to be more successful. I have been able to now be at my goal weight for over 5 months, which is very exciting. So I kind of conquered that part, and I'm very happy about that. And I've been able to maintain it. We all go up and down a little, but overall maintain it, happy in my skin. So very happy with that part. And then I feel like really been able to connect with some more people. So that's been really helpful, but treat it like a business. I was telling Jackie this last weekend, she was talking about how you find time to do this. And I said, for me, you'll start to notice, like in challenge groups, I only scroll through the challenge groups in the morning, first thing when I wake up. And I've learned to really set time and kind of take it to a next level, because I do get very distracted. And I can spend hours in a challenge group and comment on all y'all's posts. And so I try to really focus on when my notifications pop up during the day, I don't jump into that challenge group and get involved. And that's because I'm still working a full-time job. My goal would be is when I quit, I have more time during the day to do that. But as new coaches starting out that have full-time jobs, is really kind of separate that and work on, these are my set hours. This is what I'm going to do during this time. How do I get my power hour in, even if it is during those mom chunks or, whatever it is, my lunch break. Like I'll go commute to work, and I just make sure that when I take my lunch break, I take that time to step aside and kind of say, yeah, I could go down to the cafeteria and socialize. And I do sometimes, because that's how I've connected with some people and actually gotten a couple people that are considering coaching, but also taking that time to make sure I check in on challengers or coaches or whatever's going on. So my biggest takeaways would be vitals and treat it like a business and really set the business hours. So
those are perfect.
Hope that helps. And momentum is definitely true, Kimberly. I feel like as momentum started last month, and Teresa and I talked about this previously, it's one of those things like when you have a good month and you're like, go ahead, SC10, like you're excited. that's the best time to keep selling or keep talking to people, is because they will read your excitement. And so you're excited. And even though we're excited because we all love this, they read it more and more. And so build on that. When you're having a good time, or when you've just sold to somebody or signed up a coach, that's when you should invite the next person. So.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that's great. Awesome advice, because you're just so much more relaxed. You're so much more natural. I mean, anyone who's hit their goal, whether it's SC5, SC10, SC2, whatever your goal is, once you hit it, like, you just kind of have this relief too, where it's like, all right, like, now I can just talk to people. But like, that's her point and my point. I keep talking to people. I don't ever hit my goal and I'm like, oh, I'm done for the month, because that's how you end momentum right there, immediately, dead in its tracks. It's going to stop. So, one thing that I did want to say that Leslie was talking about the vitals is, Leslie went to Danny Johnson with me in San Antonio very early on. Brenda is a huge Danny Johnson follower. Megan has been to Danny Johnson several times. I have been to Danny Johnson several times. Blaine has drank in the Kool-Aid several times. She's going back this weekend. Kara's going this weekend. I didn't know that. Awesome. That's great, girl. I didn't know that. So, guys, that's for this team. That's like success leaves clues, because there are successful coaches that don't go to Danny Johnson. That's fine. Find someone that you love and that you're passionate about, though. But before every team call, I read through a bunch of notes to try to figure out like what I want to hone in and talk about, which, goes really well. And one of the things that kept coming up in my notes today was just personal development and investing in yourself. The word investment kept coming up over and over and over. And there's a lot of things that I do to invest in my business, because I am a sapphire and I am an entrepreneur from birth, and like, that's my spirit. That doesn't mean that that's your gym or how you have to run your business, but you will see me reinvest it into, like, I got a logo made early on, and I started my like page early on, and I invest in my like page so people will see it. Otherwise it wouldn't be seen by anyone. I get postcards made. I give gifts. I do that sort of thing. I look at that all as an investment back into my business. That doesn't mean that's something that you have to do. There's certain things in this business that are duplicatable and must, and there's others that you have to find who you are and who your personality is and how you want to recognize and how you lift people up and what works for you. So one of the things that has to be duplicatable is teaching people the vital behaviors, though. So whether you've been a coach a day or a year, you have to get good at the vital behaviors. You have to be good to be great. So you have to be good at them. You have to be consistent at them. You have to do them day in and day out. And yeah, you're going to have days where it's like, well, crap, the day is over and I haven't invited anyone, or I didn't get my 15 minutes of PD. And I mean, that happens, or I missed my workout, or I missed my shake, or that happens. We're not asking for perfection, but unless you get up and you do your best, then I don't want to use the try word. I don't say try anymore. I don't want you to try. Try is a lie. If you haven't seen that video, you should watch it, because I don't let my kids say it anymore either. It's like the new 4-letter word in the house, but it's only 3. All right. So I'm going to let Brenda talk next and give her some of her background and when she started and tips that she wants to share.
Hi.
Hi.
I actually had my 2-year anniversary at the end of June. And when I started, I kind of dove right in. I was the person that asked a million questions. And I was the person that when a training popped up, I signed up for it and I did it. I even went to other coaches and said, when is the training happening? I want to know when the next one starts. So for me, I was really good about just learning as much as I could, but I didn't wait until I learned it all either. If somebody told me to do something, I just did it. Even when I didn't want to, even when I felt yucky about doing it, because it's being like a business person. I mean, that's what we are. We own our own businesses. And from the very start, I would say, I don't know anything about business. I don't know how to run a business. This is not me. I was a nanny. I'm still a nanny, but I was a full-time nanny then. I'm really good at being a nanny, and I'm proud of that. That's been my life. So to do something beyond that, to me, was so out of my comfort zone that I didn't believe I could do it. I mean, I remember telling my very close friends when I made the decision to just jump in and do this, that I was scared. And they said, "What are you scared of?" And I said, "Well, I'm scared of failing." And the funny thing is I was scared of failing because I really need this to succeed. I need this business to thrive, because I want to stay as a nanny, and I don't want to lose my time with these boys, and my time gets cut back as they get older and they go to school full time and they don't need me as much. And it breaks my heart because I've been with them for so long. And so that was my initial motivation for starting this. But when I dove right in and I got into the training and I met so many wonderful people that are here and that aren't on this call tonight, I found out I could be me as a nanny and still thrive and be this other person too. Like, you can be more than one thing. You can be happy with your life. You can have a good life and still do more and want more and learn more. And that was really exciting to me when I realized that. I had a ton of fears. I didn't like inviting at all. I read the book, Eat That Frog, and ever since then, my invites I started doing first thing in the morning. And then I followed Kimberly's advice where she would send like 30 or 60 out at one time and just get it over with. And that worked really well for me. But that's the thing, is that everybody has different advice and opinions on how to run your business. Try it. If it's not working for you, try something else. It's okay. Like, there's lots of different ways to do it. We all have an awesome recipe to follow. We've got great invitation scripts that we should follow, especially in the beginning, because it's so much easier to copy and paste and just tweak it a little bit with your own personality, because you don't know what to say in the beginning and you don't want to come off being cheesy or salesy. And you're talking to your friends. You still want your friends, right? So you don't want to be like, "Hey, buy this challenge pack from me." You still have to treat them as your friend and connect with them and see what their needs are. I got Emerald right away because I knew from the very beginning that was important, because I want to run a business. And I really lucked out. The woman I work for, she's one of my best friends, and she's like, "Tell me what I need to do to help you." She signed up. I knew from past conversations with the person I was just making a friend with that she had been in this experience before, and her coach totally ruined her experience, and she quit and wanted nothing to do with Beachbody. She just wanted the discount. So I reached out to her in a friendly way. I said, "Look, I would appreciate it if you could help me out. I promise you there's no pressure to build a business. You're welcome to just enjoy the discount." She trusts me. She signed up. So I was Emerald right away. I think what held me back from reaching Diamond sooner was that I wasn't comfortable in leadership skills. Because I knew, as I invited people to coaching, to become a Diamond coach, you need to encourage people to do the same thing and grow their teams. And I didn't feel like I was the person that could do that yet, which is why I went to Danny Johnson, which is why I enrolled for the year Maxwell calls, which is why I went to Danny Johnson again, which is why I go to our team leadership trainings. What's that thing called we do in the beginning of the year? The thing in the January retreat. We go to the retreat. I would go to the retreat. The first one I went to, I busted out in tears and totally had a panic attack. But I was there and I got through it and I went again. And that's what you need to do too. You just have to show up, really. Show up for the team calls. Go to Summit if you can go to Summit. Go to the Super Saturdays. There's so much available to us that you just have to latch onto it. Another thing you really need to do is that you need to stay focused on why you are here. What is the reason you want to build your business? What is the reason you want to help other people? For me, I keep pictures surrounded by my desk. This is me with Austin and Gavin. If I didn't have them, I would not be doing this. This is my husband. Through this process, and look, he loves me. And I love him. And he gets stressed out from his job. And we had a really great conversation over the weekend. And it's not the first one. But from going to Danny and going to all these events and plugging in with all of you here, I communicate even better with my husband now than I did 2 years ago. And he can talk to me better as well. And we came to the conclusion that, I kept saying, wouldn't it be great if you coached with me? This would be awesome. And he's like most people, I don't have time to do that. I'm like, you know what? You don't have time to do that. And that's what I'm telling my husband. He's stressed out. He works long days. He's tired when he comes home. I said, won't it be great when I'm doing well enough that you don't have to work those long days? He said, yeah, that would be great. And I said, wouldn't it be great if when that happens, you could maybe quit and you could be my assistant? And he laughed. He's like, if you earn enough money to where I could work less hours, we're in. I'm your assistant and I'll do this with you. So that's like a great goal for me right now. I have an even more incentive because I'll bring him home with me and he won't be stressed as much. When our husbands aren't stressed as much, we're all happier, right? I am. So find your why. Keep it surrounded by you everywhere you are. The other thing I do is I have a daily affirmation that I read to myself every single day. Sometimes I change it and sometimes I tweak it up a little bit. I have personal ones where I look in the mirror. I don't have a struggle with weight. I've always loved to exercise. I have a struggle with being good with my nutrition, but I'm healthy. I always have been, and I've been blessed with that. But internally, I've always had problems with my self-image. I see something different in the mirror than what is reality. And the way for me to battle that and take over that power was to fake it until I could believe it. And I would look in the mirror and I would say, you are beautiful, you are strong, God made you, and you are lovable. You can give love. Like I just said certain things like that over and over again until finally I can now go to the beach in whatever I want to wear and I'm comfortable in my own skin. I could not do that a couple years ago. I'd be the one with the cover-ups and the hats and, it's ridiculous. People shouldn't do that. You just need to be comfortable in your own skin no matter what, because every single one of you really is beautifully made just as you are right now. The things we do is to improve the inside, our minds, our spirits, and our health. You have to believe in yourself. If you don't, just fake it. I learned that from the first retreat that I went to, Casey Wallace. I really connected with her and her story, and that she just did what she was told and she didn't really believe it, and she just kind of faked it in the beginning. And so I was like, well, if Casey faked it in the beginning and I see her as like this awesome coach now, well, I can do that too. I can fake it. Who can't fake things? Come on. So I just did that. I was like, I got this. I can do it. I'm great. I can talk in front of people. No problem. And I would say stuff like that, stupid stuff like that to myself all the time, but it boosted my own confidence to the point where I'm talking to people. I can go onto the beach and I've made like 5 new friends already this summer. I wouldn't do that before. But it's personal development. It's plugging in every day. You have to constantly work on yourself. And it's not selfish to do that, because when you make yourself a better person, I truly believe you can give more to the people around you. You can be a better wife. You can be a better friend. You can be a better mother. You can be a better sister, a better daughter. Everything gets better when you take care of yourself. I talk a lot, sorry. Is there anything else you wanted me to say?
No, I think that's great. You said so many things that I agree with or believe 100%. Like I've always said, just after finishing a challenge, my very first challenge, that's how I kind of sold it to people. I was like, you are going to be a better person after these 90 days. Like you're going to, whether it's because you're a smaller size or you're surrounded by positive people or you have someone cheering you on, like, people, what call was it on? I feel like Leslie, you were on the call where it was like, or it was, I was probably looking at you. It was last week's call where Aaron Booker said, people just need their hearts healed. Like this is not about necessarily weight loss. You look at someone like Brenda and Leslie who don't really have a weight issue ever. That wasn't really the thing. Like, yeah, Leslie wanted to, lose 10 pounds or tone up, and she was on 21-day fix for 7 days and did it. And I'm just kidding, just teasing. And then that's not my story. We won't go into my story, but my story is completely opposite. That's not my story at all. But my point is, these people that you look at, they're like, oh, they've got it all together, or they already know how to, they're fit, or they're this, or they're that. Like, it's so much bigger than that. Guys, that's not what this business is about. And to take that even further, this business isn't even about, selling challenge packs and advancing in rank and having a team and all of this stuff. Like, this is your opportunity. This is my belief. This company is your opportunity to do whatever it is that you want to do. So when you ask yourself, and we do this a lot at Danny, we'll go around the room and, when we're getting to know each other. And I remember going with Leslie and her saying, well, I'd love to leave my job and I'd love to be able to volunteer more. And she does a lot of volunteering through fitness activities and do more things with my kids. And like, that be her job. And I'm like, that's great. This business will allow you to do that. Like, other than winning the lottery, there's no other way that she's just going to get up to wake up someday. Like, you have to work in order to get the freedom that you want. But something that Danny says is, she's like, all these people that like, oh, I want to quit my job, I want to retire when I'm 40. And she's like, and do what? What the heck are you going to do? Like, just sit on the couch all day? Like, that's really useful to society. Like, what do you want to do? Like, you can't just stop working. Like, we were made to work, and we should wake up and be blessed that we get to work every single day. That might not be at what you're doing right now, but going back to my point is, this business is a stepping stone for whatever you want to do. For me, it took a long time for me to nail down my vision and my why and like what that even meant. And I was just doing it because it was fun. I was like, this is fun. I like the people I meet. There's like parties every quarter. Like, this is awesome. Like, I like this job. Like, they take me on cruises, and then we go to this big summit in Vegas, and I meet all these fun people that are now my friends. And I'm like, I like this. This is fun. And I said for year and a half to Summer, I was like, I'm good. I'm living my perfect life. Like, I have a nice home, and my husband has a good job, and I have 3 healthy kids, and I don't have to work out of the house. I choose to have like a side job that I, have my own little business, and I'm good. I don't need anything. And that was me selling myself short. And a lot of you guys are too. And you might continue to do it for a while. You're just not dreaming big enough. There's a difference between satisfied and complacent. So I want you to be satisfied every day in your life, as in grateful for what you have and where you are and the house over your head and your health and what you get to do. That's being satisfied. Being complacent is never working harder or doing anything different to make it even better or make it better for the people in your life, whether that's people that you can help that are sick and poor and suffering and need the charity or need your time and need that, or whether it's people in your own family that you want to leave a legacy to. So that wasn't what my call was going to be about, but I'm going to talk to you for 15 more minutes, and then I promise not to keep you a full hour. So I was going through all my notes, and something funny, if you've ever been to Danny Johnson, there is a Danny Johnson group. If you've been like in the last 12 months, you're in this group, and we get all this stuff that we talk about, and it's fun. It's great. It's that's the Sapphire. It's fun. It's very organized as well, and there's a lot of good material in there, and it helps you be your best. So, but Summer was just in there saying like, or there was a side conversation going on between me and Caitlin, and she's like, sometimes I don't listen to Danny every day. Sometimes I listen to like other people. Is that okay? And I said, what's so funny is I do too. And I put all my notes. Some people would like have a book for like all their Danny notes, and some people would have a book for all their John Maxwell calls, and some people would have a note for all their team calls. Come on, raise your hand, Brenda. You do that, right? Right? Yeah, you got your stuff organized. All of my notes are in one book. I have tons of books like this, and big books and little books. They don't even match in size. You couldn't like hole punch them or anything. Tons of books, and it's all in order of my calls, or all in order of calls I've listened to and events I've gone to. So like, you're at Danny 1 minute, and then you're in Summit the next minute, and then you're at Super Saturday, and then I'm on the Maxwell call. And I have to tell you, I love it. This is how I do it, and I love it because I read through my notes, and I'm not like just reading Danny. So I'm reading so I'm going through the notes for this call, and all of them say the same shit is my point. They all say the same thing. Blaine, you can nod your head at me all you want, girl, but success leaves clues. I'm just telling you. They all say the same thing. Like, they all start to say the same thing, and which I think is great, because it's just a reminder that all these successful people teaching other people how to be happier and make more money and have better relationships all have the same advice. Isn't that kind of great? As opposed to them being like, no, I think Maxwell thinks you should do this and Danny thinks you should do this. No, everything you were just saying, Brenda, about the daily affirmations, Danny says stuff like that. That is straight out of the book I'm reading right now called The Power of I Am by Joel Osteen. Straight out of it. He has you say it. I started saying it in the car because I feel like a fool saying it in front of the mirror. Sometimes I say it in the shower, and then my kids are like, who is she talking to in there? But he has you talk to yourself and say, I am a 15-star coach. I am a 5-star coach. I am, making however much money. I am independently wealthy. I am leaving my job. Like, I am doing all these things that you want to do. And you're saying, like, maybe you want to weigh 150 pounds. Like, maybe you want to be a size 6, like whatever it is. You're saying what you want to be constantly every day. And I've heard that from Summer. I've heard it from Danny. Now I'm reading it in this Power of I Am. I've heard it from Maxwell. And I'm like, they all say the same thing. That's just one thing. So anyways, I came across this call from Maxwell after a push to the top call from years ago. September 22nd. So it must have been last September 22nd. The call was on, and a lot of you guys were on the Maxwell calls for a year. The call was on how to make winning a habit. And I started reading through this. I was like, oh, what a great call. Like, how do I make winning a habit? How, especially these girls that just went, we have a bunch of people that are going to go Emerald tomorrow. I will hope that continues all month long. Once you are Emerald, you have a responsibility to help someone underneath you get Emerald, and you have a responsibility to help them teach someone underneath them to get Emerald. That will create amazing momentum in this team, guys. So how to make winning a habit. The secret to success is in your habits. What are the habits of winners? Successful people do the things that unsuccessful people won't do. All of this sounds so simple because it is. There's just certain things. There's people on this call that will get off and they'll do the vital behaviors tomorrow. There's people that won't. Do you want to be successful or unsuccessful? You have to do the vitals. You have to make them a habit. If you do the same thing for 30 days, it becomes a habit, or 21, but the 21-day fix takes me 30 days, so let's give it 30. Okay, so was that number one? No, that was just starting. Number one habit, winners cultivate the power of passion. So passion is the same as your why, is the same as your vision. Like, don't get mixed up on how you describe it. Like, it's all the same stuff, and call it whatever you want to call it. I could never get behind the why. Like, I was like, what does that mean? My why? Like, I couldn't do it. And then someone started calling it a vision. And I was like, oh, well, I can get behind that. I see what you're saying. And same thing with what's your passion, that sort of thing. I've had people tell me several times, if you haven't had this said to you, you will at some point when you ask them to be a coach. I'm just not passionate about that. Like, I'm just not passionate about health and fitness. I'm like, I'm not either, girl. Have you seen me? Have you met me? Like, no, I'm passionate about this being a stepping stone for me to do something else. I'm passionate about interacting with people. I'm passionate about leading a team. I'm passionate about my health, like being the best mom I can be. Like Brenda was saying, being a better mom, being a better wife, being not a sister, but being a better friend, whatever, to whoever. I'm passionate about that. So don't get caught up on like, I'm not good at sales, or I'm not passionate about that. That's not what it is. Passion is what ignites you in the beginning. So for me, it was like the fun and the friendship and the trips. Maybe for you it's the money. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, guys. Maybe it's maybe it is the health and fitness part. Like, maybe you've always wanted to work in that industry. You've always wanted to be a part of that, and you want to go on and do something bigger with that. So one of the ways he says to find out what you're passionate about, or that's what he said. Like, he says, what do you cry about? What do you sing about? And what do you dream about? Those are great questions. Those are great questions to ask at a dinner party. Like, what are the things that make you cry? personally, I cry at everything. I cry almost every freaking day. It's ridiculous. Like, I'll cry at like commercials on the TV. I'll be like, oh my God, that's so sweet. What do you sing about? I'm a horrible singer, but, and what do you dream about? So those questions to me are like, what would you do if you couldn't fail? Like, what makes you so happy? What do you want to spend your time doing? Because you're just so happy doing it. And what do you dream about? Like, what do you think when you dream about where you could be on vacation in 10 years? Like, Blaine, we're going to Italy for Blaine's 40th. I don't know if everyone's invited. Apparently I am. There's going to be a villa involved. I'm in. She's young, so we got a little while to go. So don't get stressed out. Not like mine. Mine's coming up, and we can just go to Vegas. That's fine. But I got so sidetracked on that. I started thinking about Vegas for a second. But what do you dream about? Where do you think about being on vacation? Like, I would love to go, like, when I see those little Bora Bora and tiki huts and whatever, and, I'm like, I got to go there. I got to have, like, my own little hut on the water. Like, that's got to happen sometime in my life. Things like that. Like, and I would love to go on a mission trip. It doesn't have to be to Nicaragua, but it could be to Haiti. It could be somewhere else where people are suffering from, just lack of living conditions. Blaine went to an amazing trip in Africa a year ago. I want to I don't know that I want to go to Africa after Blaine came home. She brought a friend with her, a little bug. He was not very nice. So, but I realize that that's something that might happen. But anyways, things that I dream about, like, start thinking about those things, because I like the idea of getting back to, Brenda mentioned this, like, having it in front of you. Like, you guys make a vision board. Like, one of my 5 pictures on my Facebook is like a older vision board. I need to update it, but I leave it up there constantly because I want people to, like, look at me and then be like, oh, I guess Coach K wants to, like, live on the beach and grow her team and do this and do that. Like, I'll put it out there. Like, I want them to know what it is that I want. So work on a small vision board. Do it on your phone or have a big billboard. I don't care what you want to do. Share it with us. Share your vision, because that part's coming up. The vision has been, like, such a topic with Summer and all sorts of people just this week. It just kept coming up. But she said, I wrote it down. Let me read hers real quick. She was like, do you have a vision? Have you written it down? A man without a vision will perish. You have to share your vision. So make your board and share it with people. Share it weekly in Team Ignite. Share it on Facebook. Share it with your family. They should know. It shouldn't be something that you're embarrassed of the things that you want to do. And dream big. Like, don't stop dreaming small, or stop not even dreaming. Stop saying that that's for someone else. It's not. It's for you. That's why you're on this team. That's why you're on this call. I truly believe that. Like, I have sat at those retreats in DC and listened to coaches talk about belief, and that being the key game changer in this business is belief. I know I'm kind of all over the place here. Is belief, though. And I took off early in this business. Like, I hit Emerald and hit Diamond. I was like, oh, this is what you do. I was just like, I felt like I was going to have more fun if I hit everything faster, because there was more parties and there was more presence and there was more recognition. And that just sings to my little sapphire heart. So I was all in. And so that's what I did. But it wasn't until a year and a half in at a particular DC retreat, it wasn't my first one, that I listen to people talk about belief. And Summer showed this graph of people's incomes, and she had asked me for my income, like what it had done and all this stuff. So I knew I was on the graph. I could figure out where I was. And then, like, I'm here, and then there's some people that were flatlined below me. There's some people that took off even faster. And then there was Summers that was like, she didn't do anything for a year. And then it kind of went up a little bit. And then there's like this giant spike in Summer's income, like 3-4 years in. Did everyone hear that? 3-4 years in, not 3 months in. Summer wasn't like slamming it, right? All these coaches, there's several coaches. I could give you a list of 20 of them that are above us that make well over 6 figures, make $250,000, $350,000, $400,000, tons of money. Where that shift is their belief. some people come in believing right away and their income grows really fast. And then what stops them is a leadership lid. Then they have to pass, they have to develop their skills. They have to be personally developed enough to keep growing that income. Summer, she worked on her personal development. She started going to Danny, and then all of a sudden she had the belief that she was going to do it. She started saying, I'm going to retire Chad out of the military. I'm going to do this. I am. The power of I am. Say it to yourself in the mirror. Say it to people. People laughed at her. That's one of the things she said. She said, don't say if, say when. You don't have anyone on your train. Oh, hold on. You don't have anyone on your train, but you want to tell them where you're going. Oh, yeah. You might not have anyone on your train. You might be a brand new coach. You might only have 1 or 2 coaches underneath you. You might have 10 coaches, but none of them are doing anything. Totally been there before, folks. Like, I've had all these, I went diamond, and like, I was like, all right, here I am, I'm diamond, but no one's doing anything. I wasn't instilling any belief. I wasn't building any builders. I was just, had this little hollow team. So my next 20, that was like where my team really started, or my next 10. But even when you don't have anyone on your train, tell people where your train is going. Do they want to get on your train? If your train is going to Boersville, no one's getting on, dude. Like, no one wants to be on your train. If your train is whining and, oh, check for updates. Not a good time. Sorry. If your train, if you are on Facebook whining and complaining and negative Nancy and like, I mean, put a spin on it. I like burned the crap out of my eye with a jalapeno tonight, and people love to laugh and talk about it because you just make the best out of it. You're still sharing your life, but stop. Don't whine. I'm not telling you to stop. I don't think most of you do. Don't whine on social media. Don't complain. Reread your stuff. Like, am I being like, have I been down? Blah, 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 blah. Don't body shame yourself. No one wants a coach that like talks bad about their body.
Maybe it did go for those updates after all.
Does someone go unmute? I don't know. All right. All right. So anyways, people will laugh at you. Who cares? No good leaders come from an easy road. And then she goes into all this stuff, overcoming all these obstacles, which is long.